See if anybody shows up at all. Not expecting it. It's all good. Snow in Cleveland. 9:30 in the morning on 4/9/20. Jeez. Says it's 39 degrees out there and it's snowing. Go figure. Well, when you keep messing with things, you keep messing with the weather, and you keep messing with people, and you start throwing chemicals in the air, and you screw up the soil, things happen, and they happen for a reason. You know, we got this virus thing hitting us right now. Guys, I can't warn you enough. You can't. Build your immune system. Get your C, get your D, get your calcium, get your colloidal silver. You know, I hear all sorts of excuses why I can't this, why I can't that, and what have you, but hey, it's your health. Things are messed up. You know, my last little broadcast, my last little show, I played a video or an audio track of an electronics expert, we'll say. Says he's a minister. Sounds like he's in Africa. You know, and he's pointing at something totally different. And what he's pointing at is making a whole lot of sense. The more I watch, the more it seems to be panning out. The more it seems to be coming true. There's some issues. Some of you know, some of you don't. The human immune system and the way it works. You know, what rather than exposing ourselves to a virus, so you know, Purell and Lysol and Clorox bleach and this, that, and the other. You know, you're knocking your own immune system down. Without enough calcium, you can't produce enough blood cells, enough white blood cells. Some people go into overdrive because of it, and they want to call it a disease. You got to let nature take its course. Nature knows best. Nature's been here far longer than our idiot leaders. I'm sorry. It's just the way it stacks up. You know, they've been pushing these white coats for years, and everybody just kind of falls into line and does as they're told because the doctor said. Look, and I'm no doctor, but you know, something is going on that is causing people's immune systems to kick into overdrive, and that's what we're reacting to. They want to label it as this super bug, but you know, we're all reacting to somebody else's immune system. That's how it spreads, and they'll tell you that's exactly how it spreads. You know, you come in contact with somebody else's liquids, whether that be sweat, whether that be tears, what doesn't matter. There's some food for thought here. Let's just say that last audio track was right. Let's just say that because of this new phone system and our human bodies attempting to associate with it is causing this issue. So our immune systems are going into overdrive to try and cope with it like we normally do, like we've done for billions of years on this planet. You know, you could biblically call this a plague. You know, there's something screwy going on here. And as everybody's immune system kicks in a different way to defend them, depending on what their diet and depending on what they're eating, it's going to react in a different way. And here's our body trying to deal with our own system and our own immune system and our own dietary system, trying to defend ourselves plus somebody else's. And that's where it kicks in. That's where it gets worse. You know, you got to look at this logistically. How is this thing getting into prisons that they're emptying prisons? There's something more going on here. You can't just. I mean, come on. These guys are in full lockdown, not in contact with the outside world. Yet, people in prisons are getting this. Something's not right. Something's not adding up. You know, as we're attempting to deal with this cold, that cold, this virus, that virus, and here we are. You know, April 9th, and it's snowing in Cleveland. Things are weird. Something's wrong. I don't care how you look at it. Something's wrong. Something else is going on. There's a bigger picture. Now, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about this currency issue. Why would Nancy Pelosi, of all people, out of nowhere, want to sneak in electronic currency? Hey, Miss 320. Want to sneak in electronic currency and get away from currency altogether in the United States because of a virus. There's a bigger picture here. There's something else going on. Something's screwy. You know, I've talked about Faraday cages in the past, and I've talked about staying grounded, and I've talked about staying connected to the world. Oh, bummer. Casey, that sucks. Yeah, something's weird here, 320. Something's weird here. You know, our let's just go with a theory. Let's just hey Gracie, let's just go with an outside theory. What if they've put all these satellites up? You know, nobody saw these launches, so how they got there is anybody's guess. But regardless, we've got this section called the Van Allen Belt, where we have all of our satellites in orbit. What if that 5G radiation is actually starting to take a true effect? Now, this gentleman said 6 months for 5G to start affecting the human body and kick it into this. And understand, it's only at 1/10 the power that it's fully capable of. You know, they need this for the smart refrigerators, and they need this for this, that, or the other. Think about that. Think about that. Some going on so your refrigerator can track what you're eating and help you grocery shopping and communicate with you what you need. Yeah, about that. About that. And now here we are in April, and it's snowing in Cleveland. Something's not right. You know, the people least affected, just by the numbers alone. Yes, you're right, Casey. 100% right. You know, and there's the head of the head of Microsoft. I've got the cure. Well, yeah, because you were invested in all of this all along. But your cure for this thing uh, happens to have a microchip in it. About that, and that's going to be hooked up to the global banking system, the global medical system, the global this, that, or the other. Without the chip, you're not able to leave your own state. You may not even be able to make purchases without that chip, depending on how far they want to take this. Things are. I said this in the beginning when this first came out. There's something more underlying this, and when Pelosi started pushing global currency, I started looking a little bit closer, and this is out there. This is, and I don't think we've seen the worst of it. I'll be honest. I think as more and more people coming come into contact with this and their immune systems kick in, I see all sorts of weird diseases popping up, and they're going to keep calling it COVID. But I got a feeling it's something far far worse. You know, boost your immune systems. Get ready. Um, this is bad. This is really bad. Um, get your vitamin D. Get as much sunlight as you can. If you can't, get a supplement. That's your white blood cell system. That's what's going to defend you against whatever is coming. Without enough vitamin D in your system, um, yeah, well, and how interesting they launched this thing during the worst part of, you know what I mean? The worst part of the virus season, as we all normally know it, when the cold kicks in. Get your worlds together. Get your worlds together. Get this stuff. Get this stuff going. Get your vitamin D. I don't care. Something's wrong. Something's not right. And as more and more of these viruses start popping up, as people's immune system react in different ways depending on their diets, you know, these vegetarians, their diet's going to be one way. Meat eaters, their diet's going to be another. They're both going to react in a defensive way, but their white blood cells are going to be putting out, like the pheromones. It's going to be putting out of their system a defense to be placed on their skin. That's the way the body works. And as we all start defending against whatever this is, and if it's 5G, like I think, we have not seen anything near the worst of it yet. I don't think Italy's seen the worst of it yet. So my best advice as we're watching these weird times is boost your immune system. Eat vitamin C, eat vitamin D, get calcium in your system, and find a source for colloidal silver. Do everything you can to help defend yourself. This is just odd. This is just very, very odd. You know, they want to keep looking back at history that they want to keep erasing. You know, they've used these kind of situations before to control people. Look what they did to the Indians with smallpox. They did this again in midst of World War II. And now we've got whatever this is. They want to scare everybody with global pandemic, and it's causing people to do some really, really, really stupid stuff. And it's going to trigger martial law because people just won't listen. They just won't listen. And a big part of that is getting healthier food. They've been slowly deteriorating our food system, and now they're saying to start dumping everything. You know, a lot of the farmers and a lot of the truckers are now starting to report they're being told to dump their loads and destroy them. What's going on here? It's not bad food. What's going on here? There's more to this. It's almost like they're trying to trigger something. Like they're trying to get everybody to go on the defensive. Like they're looking for a cause. Some way to get everybody riled up. And thank God consciously we're all not wanting that. We're all not wanting, gangs roaming the streets doing as they please. Breaking into people's houses and going absolutely nuts. Hey Anna, hey Mark. Things are out of whack. And I wrote this book and I knew then something was wrong. But you can't necessarily publish that. You can't necessarily put that in a book. There's too many people above you in the system that will not allow it to be published if I tell the truth. I can't. And the few things that I put in there, instantly upset certain people. You know what I mean? So publishing a book that tells the truth is not possible right now. But writing this book, I knew what was wrong. And I knew that if we started to reverse things on them and started to take the soils back, the food web is the beginning of life on this planet. And in their arrogance, they're stopping the food web and wanting to sit back and call it, global conditioning. There's more. There's far, far more. When you're capable of growing a garden in the middle of the Arabian desert, why aren't we able to grow on our farms? Why aren't we able to grow in our backyards? What's wrong? I was watching the channel again this morning, and they're preaching they're preaching cloth, gardening cloth, to control the weeds, and ignoring the basic principles of life on this planet, which start at the food web. We may be sitting at the top, but we're not superior. Without the food web, things get bad, and we're seeing it on our farms. We're seeing it on our mega farms. We're seeing what happens when everything just goes to the NPK system. So I put this book out in such a way that it's entertaining, and it's this and it's that and it's the other, but there's an underlying truth in that book. And now we're facing a global pandemic. Truckers are being ordered to dump their loads, burn their loads, destroy their loads. Milk and dairy farms are being told to dump their stock because the kids aren't in school drinking milk. Right, they don't drink anything when they go home. So, of course, everything's going to be out of whack just because. Right, okay. I mean, with an unconcerned parent, maybe, but who wouldn't skip a meal for their child? Honestly. There's something more here. There's something more going on. Fix your soils, everybody. Talk to your... You may not be able to grow in an apartment complex. I understand that. I worked in the industry for a very long time. I know how they think. I know what they do. And things are just odd. You know, they wanted everybody gathered around and in these huge cities like this for a reason. And now look at the situation. You're not allowed to grow your own food. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. Something's wrong. You know, so many cities have come out against, people having gardens of their own. Why? So many people came out against having a fireplace in your own home to heat. Why? There's an underlying something. Something's wrong. You know, the mineral base that is available in burnt ash from burning trees. You know, our grandparents and our grandparents, that's what they did to remineralize. They didn't know exactly why, but it's a neutralizer. And it's full of minerals that don't get destroyed under heat. Now, you're not going to get the best of minerals that way. There's better ways to get them. I cover them in the book. But there's more to this. If you're going to get healthy, you've got to get your yard healthy. You've got to get your world healthy. When you're breathing clean air because your world is right, when you're eating wholesome foods that are good for you right out of your own garden, the world is right. Things turn around, things go the opposite direction. You know, we're all worried about this virus scenario. And nobody is looking at how the human body works and is talking about it. You know, all of us are going into this defensive mode. All of our bodies are going into this right now. We're all feeling it. We're all feeling something's a little off, something's a little odd, something's a little out of place. We're all feeling it. Yet, how many of us actually came in contact with it? That we're feeling it. That we're feeling this oddness in the air. We're feeling this oddness going on. Something more is going on here. You know, I have always said, follow the money. You want your answers, follow the money. Well, yeah, keep following the money. You know, it's awfully strange how when the president came out with the $1 billion plan to help our economy, the loudest screamers were the ones that said, hey, you know, what about big company, big this, big that, big pharma? What about saving them? What about this? What about that? Okay, what about them? They got enough money. They've made enough profit. I mean, come on. It doesn't cost thousands of dollars to make a single pill. Yet there are people out there with prescriptions where each pill is a couple of $100 each. What's wrong with this picture? They've got enough money to survive. It's the small businesses that are the issue. You know, and all I saw was delay tactic after delay tactic after delay tactic. And it seemed to me like everybody was just worried about where they were going to put their investments next. And then once they knew, you know, and insider trading is illegal in the United States. Yet there's our politicians getting their money invested. How does somebody go from welfare to multi-billionaire in 40 years? Well, you become a Washington, D.C. politician. Then you know what's going on underneath. You know where to invest your money. You sell your votes a certain way. Something's wrong. You know, I don't know how many of you guys are open to these ideas, and I don't know how many follow along with all of this and are watching all of this and are scratching your heads asking the same questions. But something doesn't add up. There's an underlying picture. When we have gotten to the point where 90% of society says, hey, look, I see what the right hand's doing. What's the left hand doing? Know what I mean? Something's screwy. You know, and the best way I can point at this is look at Russia. Seriously, look at Russia. Their numbers aren't anywhere near the rest of the planet. Don't even come close. Why is that? What didn't they do that we did? You know, they allow commerce, they allow travel, they allow visitation. People go in and out of that country all the time. Yeah, they're not getting hit like the rest of the planet. Why? What's the one factor that's not playing out here? I'm noticing it in Hawaii too. And Hawaii didn't allow it. So what's going on here? People with the strongest immune systems are dealing with this just fine. Yet other areas of our country, especially our highly populated areas, where the food is the worst, the diets are the worst. These people are getting hammered with this thing. It's their immune system. It's the food. It goes backwards, right back to the food web. Time to stop and think. Time to stop and look at this. You know, something's not right. Follow the money. Look at what's going on. Honestly, there's no reason for it to be snowing on April 4th in Cleveland. Something's wrong. Something major is wrong. Something is somebody turned something on somewhere or did something when it's snowing at 40 degrees. Something's wrong. Just food for thought, guys. Think about it. Think about it. You want to help your family, you want to help your friends, you want to help your area, start looking at the food web. The only way we can defend ourselves is to start at home, right? And if everybody gets on board, things start to change, and they change for the better. Start looking at the food web. Look at the beginning of this, and then we'll work our way out. I'm good. I'm good. I've been locked down for years. I'm good. I got nothing to worry about. Unless, of course, I get called out to go plow snow. But even then, I'm trapped in my own vehicle by myself. I don't have to worry about somebody else's immune system attacking mine. But, yeah, odd is odd. Something's wrong. We need to start talking. You know, one of the biggest things they wanted to do was stop us from being neighbors. They wanted us spying on our neighbors and started causing the doubt in our neighborhoods. You know, maybe we need to reverse the tables on them and switch it back the other direction. And maybe it's time to start being neighbors once again and helping each other out. You know, and it only starts with one act of kindness and it grows from there. You know, for every act of kindness you do, ask the person to do 2 acts of kindness. And let's let this thing grow. You know, I wish the book had gone that way. For each and every one of you that had gotten your hands on a copy of the book, I wish you'd have let 2 people know. Some of you did. Some of you did. Some of you have not stopped preaching. This is a great book. You know, I'm trying to fix the planet 1 yard at a time because there's no other way to do it with the system that we currently have. Things are weird. Things are really weird. Get this one out. People need to start thinking on a different level. We don't need to be thinking about our defense. We need to start thinking about putting this on the offensive and start changing our world for the better and getting it back where it belongs and putting a stop to this. The best way to stop their currency issue is to start trading amongst yourselves and trading with your neighbors and trading services. Then there's no need for money once again. Start thinking about it. Not all your neighbors can be bad guys. Not all your neighbors can be good guys either. Don't misunderstand. I get it. Some people are just twisted. I get it. I'm kind of there myself. But it takes one act of kindness to change the world. It really, really does. It's the butterfly effect. And if we don't get that food web back, if we don't start striving to go the opposite direction and start seeing the benefits, things are going to keep getting weird. Arrested for being in my shed. What the hell were they doing in your shed, Sherry? Oh, God. Too weird. Good morning, Sherry. Oh, my God. Some strange times coming up, everybody. Very, very strange times. Mr. Tim, what's going on, buddy? Well, hell, if we're going to start running a show, shit. Maybe I should switch up the music and start entertaining. This is odd, everybody. This is odd. Oh, this is I don't understand. I'm not used to snow in April. I'm okay with still having a plow on my truck, but it wasn't because I was expecting another snowstorm. I mean, a lot of I'm in deep with the book, and I'm having to get rid of one of my stored cars, one of my babies that I've been hoarding and sitting on for many, many, many years, and I'm being forced to get out from underneath it because of the money. And it's in the way of me getting the snowplow off the truck. It is what it is. Eventually things will click. Eventually things will head the other direction. But yeah, time to start reversing the roles on these people. Time to start changing the direction. Throughout my book, I tell you different ways of obtaining the things you need for a better yard and a better garden. And some of them are financial, but they're all backed up with something that you probably have around the house or around the yard or around the garden, and you don't even know it's there. It's time to start looking. It's time to start taking care of yourself. We've become too reliant on box stores. We've become too reliant on the easy way out. Obesity is rampant. This is rampant. It's out of control. It's way out of control. And it's been a slow progression. A very slow progression, very methodical. And it's time to go the opposite direction. It really is. I thought putting the book out last February was the best of ideas. And now we're facing an issue where those that have the book and are applying this system are reaping the benefits. I talked to American Grandpa. He's changed his name since, but I talked to American Grandpa yesterday, and he put the system to work in his garden. He didn't get a chance to videotape it, but he himself came out and stated it's weed free. There's nothing to do. Plant it, let it grow, and harvest. And Mother Nature takes over. You don't have to use garden fabrics and destroy the food web, because that's exactly what that does. It destroys it. It doesn't allow the food web to even begin to grow. And then the weeds come on. And everybody sits back and scratches their head. I don't understand. I put this garden fabric down. It was supposed to stop the problem. No, it made it worse. And Mother Nature is trying to step in and fix it. Alrighty. Well, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Get your vitamin D. Get your sunlight. Boost your immune system. If you can't think of anything else to do today, start thinking realistically about ordering in some vitamin D if you can't get into the sun. We've got to strengthen the immune system. We've got to get enough calcium in our system to support the white blood cell production. It is what it is. To just say that this is one virus, when people's immune systems are involved, it could be any number of viruses. Time to start looking the other direction, guys. Time to start thinking about, what really happens in the human body. How does it defend itself? What does it do? What direction does it, and what's it feeding off of? To make you healthy, to give you that protection layer. And in some cases, and I know this is not what this channel is or about, but in some cases, you really need to seek God, and you really need to make peace with your Maker, and you need to start understanding there's so much more to life. Gain peace with yourself. Gain peace. A lot of that can be found in the garden. When you get back to nature, you're getting closer to God, believe it or not. There's something peaceful and harmonious about getting into the garden. And you're not going to be out there weeding. I'm telling you, it doesn't happen under the system. The weed seed is dead. The weed seed is gone. The need for watering is gone. The need for this, that, or the other is gone. One of my neighbors is going. I'm almost guaranteed if I went out there and talked to him right now, and a few of them are out, trying to figure out why it's snowing in April and it's 40 degrees outside. They'd be looking at me going, you cut your grass yesterday and now we've got snow. It's going to kill your grass. Want to bet? Want to put money on it? You want to put money on it? My yard will be the first one to melt down. My yard will be the first one to drink up every bit of that water and put it to use. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because the aeration factor is there. And no, you don't need to rototill, Tim. That's the wrong way to go about fixing the food web. Read my book, dummy. I hate to call you on it, but read my book. Miss JCT. Hey, Miss JCT. Meant to ask you the other day. We got sidetracked, but how tall is your garlic? I'm at about a foot right now, and it's coming on strong. I'm waiting for the sunflowers to start kicking in next. But yeah, Tim, don't rototill. Mound, cover, and plant. You don't need to rototill. Rototill just disturbs things. Now, if you're just now putting that system into shape, that's something totally different. All right. From book 2, which none of you have seen. Yeah, some preparation is understood. Some ways of getting stuff down into that. So we'll replant it already then, JCT. Replant that. That's awesome that it's going like that. But yeah, replant. get more back in the ground again. Because that's one of those plants that will go 3 times, 4 times. Well, there's some conditions going on there, and that's going to help some of those conditions. You've got to get things opened up, and nature will take its course. Nature will do its thing. Trust me, nature's fantastic. But yeah, take a few of those cloves and get them replanted. Get them back down in that soil and get a second growth going. Absolutely, Sherry. 100% right. There's so much going on here. There's so much we can do. There's so many different, call them grandmother's tricks, things that weren't passed down that we can apply. You just have to start thinking on the principles of the food web. And think about what's going on there, and think about how it feeds everything and reacts to everything. And if you want to treat your food web right, give it sugar. No, I don't mean beet sugar. No. Think about nature once again. That the processed sugars are not what we're talking about. I mean, even ants will avoid processed sugar. It's amazing to watch. But they know it's not good for you. Even in nature, they know. But when you understand that the food web thrives on sugar, it gets sugar from our gardens, from our plants. That's its reward. That's what it's there for. Not only does it deteriorate and break things down and do different things, depending on which aspect of the food web you're talking about, the helpful parts of the food web thrive on sugar. You want more food web? Give it more sugar. And watch what happens. It's amazing. Carolyn, to be free, is getting ready to apply a dose of sugar to her property. And it's going to change things. She's got no idea what's coming. You know, you treat the food web right, and it starts treating the plants right, and the plants start treating you right. Whether it be food production or just production of pure, clean oxygen. It's just an understanding of the principles, understanding basic nature, and we've forgotten a lot of it. A lot of it. I'm sure my book only touches the tip of the iceberg. I'd love to sit down with an old timer and really get some information. Yeah, right, JCT. When a plant is struggling, photosynthesis isn't happening the way it should. Yeah, there's still a little bit, but an unhealthy houseplant doesn't produce oxygen. Just like an unhealthy tree that's struggling, you know, and I'm seeing more and more proof that this chemical spraying that's going on and this chemical usage is killing more trees. Just look underneath a tree that falls over. You know, it doesn't fall over as a root ball. When we plant a tree, is it not a ball? So how come when a tree falls over, it's flat and burned out underneath? Literally burned out. It's chemical poisoning. Well, where'd that come from? Well, that's from somebody following the NPK system, going the wrong direction, not understanding what nature's doing. I want to sit back and say, hey, wait. You know, my roots are starting to rise. No, they're not. Roots don't move. Trees don't get up and walk in front of cars. I'm sorry. That's not how this works. Something's wrong. Something's out of kilter. Something's weird. There's no way I should be seeing snow in April at 9:30 in the morning. No way. Something's wrong. Somebody's got their finger on a trigger somewhere and something's going wrong. Tim, you just need dead organic matter going into that soil. The more you put in, the better you're going to be. Ashes, leaves, anything. Go fishing. Stick a bunch of scales in there. Stick a bunch of fish heads in there. Come on. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Get organic matter in that garden. Get things breaking down and deteriorating. Mold is your friend in some situations. Start heading a different direction. And no, gardening gloves are not required because you're not pulling weeds. And getting in touch with those organisms is healthy. Come on, everybody. You know something's amiss. You know something's off when they're releasing criminals from prison that have had no way of contact with the outside world, but yet they're coming up with this disease. They're testing positive for this. Something's not right, everybody. Something's not right. There's no way a lockdown prison should be coming in contact with this stuff. Unless it's their own immune system that's under attack and they're going into a defensive mode. And even their diets are so bad that it's taking over and doing damage. Something's wrong. You know, it's interesting. How can we, be looking at a scenario like this and not see people's immune systems are extremely weak? Something's wrong. Why aren't we healthier? You know, in a world as technologically advanced as we currently are, with all the things we've got going on, why are our immune systems under attack? Why are we so weak? And why is this taking such a toll on such high populous areas? Unless there's something else going on. Time to change direction, everybody. Time to start thinking something totally different. Time to start looking at different avenues. When they want to start locking up our preachers and letting out child rapists, something's wrong. Something's really wrong. There's a bigger picture here. Somebody needs to add this up and figure it out for themselves. Something ain't right. Wake up, everybody. All right, I've depressed the shit out of myself. I'm going to shut this off. All right, everybody. I'll see you somewhere. I'll see you out there. Y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you.